We're live.
Okay, so it's Australia's day in Adelaide. Clearly, Australia's day. India won the toss, squandered an opportunity after that partnership for the wicket between after the first wicket. Yashasvi Jaiswal, Rahul and Gill steadied the ship, 69 runs, and thereafter within 3 overs, Rahul, Gill, quick wickets and Kohli, and thereafter Rohit Sharma, another failure, and India did not recover. Clearly, Australia's day. India will need a strong morning tomorrow in Adelaide to make a comeback in this match. Rohit Juglan, Devashish Sen, Shomik and Gargi joining me. Rohit, I'll go to you first because you need to go to the press conference. Sum it up. Opportunity lost for India. Absolute opportunity lost for India.
After that day one also we told that it's an epic comeback from, Jasprit Bumrah and the Indian bowlers, and India was right again in the game. But it won't happen so often that, each and every day you play like this, your batters disappoints, and after that, you completely rely on Jasprit Bumrah and others' brilliance, to get a game again in your, in your stride, and then, start from the scratch. So I think we knew this, that if the conditions are challenging, if there are certain help for the fast bowlers, if the ball swings a bit, and mind you, this is the that never ever the ball test they have.
There's an internet issue with Rohit. I hope he gets it right. Devashish, same question for you. You were there in the stadium, packed house, opportunity lost for India. And if you see, Rahul, extra bounce, Kohli, extra bounce, Pant, extra bounce, weren't able to adjust, get the ball down on time. That's what cost India, Devashish. This has to be a massive, massive comeback tomorrow morning. Otherwise, it's for Australia. Rohit, there's an internet issue with you. There's an internet issue at your end. You need to rejoin. Yeah. Devashish, take that question. Devashish, mute.
Ask Dips. Am I audible? Yeah, I think the Indian team management or in the team selection, they should have gone in with an Akashdeep. Yes, Harshit Rana did bowl well in that debut test. He also was impressive in that prime minister. But today, I think actually he was the weak link among the three pacers. Yes, Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj tried their best. Wickets did not reflect, but then Harshit Rana, one would have expected the kind of performance he put up in that first test. A lot depended on him, and that is where he let go the Australians somewhat, and obviously a huge challenge coming up, a huge big day coming up on day two. Means if India does not get some quick wickets, India will have all catching up to do. Boriada.
Yeah, I mean, Shomik, Devashish is saying Harshit Rana. I thought Siraj was the most disappointing of the bowlers. Of the bowlers. Harshit did actually, I thought if you asked him that pecking order, and by that catch drop, Rishabh Pant touching that catch, and that's when sort of the trajectory change, and it was actually a first slips catch. Rohit Sharma had positioned himself clearly. The ball was going straight into his hands. That's when the glove touched. Rishabh Pant full length dive. That's also costing India. You cannot drop them. Having said that, Australia also dropped, but they came back. Shomik, you've got to show intensity tomorrow morning. It will depend on the captain. It will depend on the leadership group to come back with intensity. But let's decode this. Once again, very disappointing batting. Again, the captain failed. Virat Kohli failed. Multiple times we are seeing this. Rohit, can you hear me? If you can hear me.
I can.
Good. So the question that Devashish said was Harshit Rana was disappointing. I actually thought Mohammad Siraj was also disappointing, and that catch, Nathan McSweeney catch, cost us. Overall, 180 is never going to be enough. You are asking too much of your bowlers multiple times. If that's the issue, your summary of the day before you go to the press conference.
But yeah, the bowling wise, I think the most important thing was we were not hitting the areas which were, forced them to hit it with the bat. till 23rd over, 95%. And again, this is the data by the broadcasters. Till 23 overs, 95% of the deliveries are those which they didn't play. And after that, if you see 13 or 14 runs in the completely extras, and include some buys into it, and you will definitely find that our bowlers are completely were not on target at this specific point of time where they need to be hitting the ball in the stumps area. So 95% Boryada is a very big data. And be it Mohammad Siraj, be it Harshit Rana, I don't know at a given point of time why didn't they allow Jasprit Bumrah to come back into the picture and give him at least a couple of overs or 3 overs or so that we can get a wicket at that particular point of time. But that didn't happen. Ashwin we saw on the very last over. If you are getting that, you're not finding wickets at any cost by your fast bowlers. You can have Ashwin a little more earlier, I think. So, and I never saw Rohit Sharma talking to any specific bowler at a given point of time that why are we not hitting the areas. And we were trying, I think, too much with the pink ball, and it's very difficult to hold that pink ball in the specific areas, because down the leg side it was going for a boundary. There were multiple boundaries. Tell me one run Manas Labuschagne scored in the offside in front of wicket. He hasn't scored a single run in front of wicket. So in the offside, that is giving you a clear indication that how Indian bowlers bowl today. When he was just going for the let him going for those drives, going for that off drives, the cover drives. I think that will be a more of a game plan rather than trying to hit him or put
Showing the point that actually, Rohit,
short ball stuff.
got the point that you're trying to make. Got the point you're trying to make, and that's a fair point. Gargi, take this before I go to Shomik. That the lack of experience with the pink ball in match conditions, the exact line to bowl, the point that Rohit is making, the Australians after that partnership were able to come back and hit those lines. They were able to come back and get the ball into the right areas, which unfortunately the Indians were not able to. They'll have to, and Bharat Arun used to tell me this, after a bad bowling day, we would sit down at the end of the day and ask the bowlers, did you want to pitch it there, or did you not want to pitch it there? And they will have your answer. So is that the problem, Gargi? Not playing enough with the pink ball, the bowlers, unfortunately. But the fact is, it's not about bowling. We will come to the batting because, led by the captain, the batting was disappointing. But let's start with the bowling. Gargi, do you think that lack of experience with the pink ball cost the Indian bowlers?
Lack of experience and also not sticking to the basics, I think. Because you saw that what makes a great bowler is what makes a successful and a penetrative bowler is the fact that they don't let the batter score, and that's something you did not see today. You saw a lot of runs being leaked. The lines were really bad, so I think that's where in the Indian bowling lineup went very, very wrong. Apart from Bumrah, I think Bumrah was okay, but Siraj, like you said, was the weak link today. And Nitish Reddy, you can't blame him too much. He was brought in just for 4 overs. He got hit for a lot of runs, but at the same time, you have to think about what your premier bowlers are doing, what your main bowlers are doing, and it just today India's bowling lineup did not look threatening at all, not at all. And like Rohit also pointed out that a lot of runs were being made off of loose balls. It wasn't as if the Australians were scoring and working really hard to score it. It were loose balls. Those were loose balls. And that's not what you want to see in a pink ball test.
Shomik, batting was disappointing after that partnership. Nobody really put their hands up. The bowling too was disappointing. India has to make a comeback from here on. But sum it up for me. Now that we've discussed the bowling, let's get to the batting. You've got a partnership in. Three players could not control the bounce and got out back in that slip cordon. Rahul, Virat Kohli, and of course Rishabh Pant. Shomik, your thoughts. And then of course Rohit Sharma did not score again. So the pressure will start to mount on the captain. Rohit, Shomik, your thoughts.
See, my
Shomik,
thoughts.
accurate. Pranit, innings defeat and 3-1 series loss looming. You've just won a Perth test 5 days back. 7 days. You had a one bad day. You are saying series loss with 3-1. Tell me, what is this fickleness about an Indian fan? Where is this coming from? You had one bad day. You just won a test match. You are 1-0 up in the series. You are telling us innings defeat and 3-1. Shomik, put this into perspective and let's not jump the gun.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of cricket is still to be played in this test match, and Bumrah's spell tomorrow morning is going to be very, very crucial. At the end of the day, I mean, see, we have already spoken about India's batting been underwhelming. As far as bowling is concerned, Harshit Rana was a little too wide and Siraj was a little too short. He should have been fuller. But I think we need to talk a bit at length about Rohit Sharma. My summary of today's play focuses on Rohit Sharma. Once again, as a captain, he was reactive. He brought on Nishit Reddy as a bowler when he should have brought on Bumrah, at least Ravichandran Ashwin, because Nitish Reddy is not going to give you a wicket, number one. Once again, his captaincy was reactive. As far as his batting is concerned, yes, it's a collective failure. Shubman Gill batted very well until the point he got out. He batted very well. But it was a collective failure. Three of the players couldn't handle the extra bounce. But unfortunately, as I saw Rohit, it felt it the his I mean it felt like his end game in Test cricket has begun. The way he was getting beaten on the outside edge, he was getting beaten on the inside edge. Actually, even at his peak, Rohit Sharma didn't have very good control in his defensive shots. He used to adjust at the last moment with his sharp reflexes. Now, with slowing reflex, he is getting found out, and this is very concerning.
Devahish, the point that Shomik is making, 2 points. Batting, is that impacting his captaincy? Lack of runs. Last test match, India won. His comeback, unfortunately, did not get runs, clearly under pressure. Is that going to impact his captaincy? And Shomik talks about the reactive captaincy. Had that Maxwini wicket come, things could have been different. But your thoughts on Rohit, batter and captain? Unless the batter gets runs, it will continue to impact his captaincy, Devashish?
I absolutely agree. Means, and let's not wish that this match India can bounce back on day two. But even if suppose the match, if India goes on to lose this match, it will definitely impact the series overall. Means obviously you have someone who is a captain who is not performing with the bat, that automatically puts pressure because the Australians will target Rohit Sharma. So the onus will be on the other batters, so, and clearly, in the last match, we saw Jasprit Bumrah taking on the responsibility and producing an impressive performance. So, the sooner the later for Rohit Sharma, he starts scoring runs, automatically he will be more proactive and it will reflect on the performance. But, I know cricket is a team game, but at times, if your captain is not performing, then it can impact the others as well. Buriya.
Gargi, your thoughts on Rohit Sharma? Clearly, 82 for 4 is when he comes in. 3 out of 23 or 24 balls, and then it becomes 87 for 5. At no point did he kind of get a look in. Yes, he's not been there for too long. He has to get runs because if the captain does not lead from the front, the pressure is supposed to mount. And again, the point that Shomik made, I'm in agreement about the captaincy point, that when Siraj and Harshit Rana aren't looking the part, a 3 over spell to Jasprit Bumrah, not many, maybe a 3 over spell, get a wicket, put the pressure back and then go. That didn't happen for far too long. Far too long, Jasprit Bumrah was not brought back. Is that a problem? Did you find find Rohit's captaincy kind of once again allowing the game to drift?
I did, and I completely agree with what Shomik said, and the point that he made about Rohit Sharma being a little too reactive on the field. Like you said, it could have been Jasprit Bumrah who could have come in and sort of stabilized that innings, that situation that had come up, but that did not happen, unfortunately. And when we talk about batting, once again, it's been far too long that we've been disappointed by Rohit Sharma's batting. Uh, and I think now there will be serious concerns because if we were losing, or maybe if we were losing, but at the same time there were runs coming from Rohit Sharma's bat, then things could have been a lot more different. But right now we're seeing that Rohit Sharma is somewhat failing with his captaincy, and also failing with the bat. And I think that's what makes this so concerning, because one of the reasons why I thought Rohit Sharma at number 5 would be a good option is for situations exactly like what happened today in the morning. Because I thought if there is a chance of a top order collapse, Rohit Sharma could come in at number 5 and stabilize the innings. And that did not happen, unfortunately. That did not You did not see a lot of solidity from Rohit Sharma. Devashish and the rest had been reporting on his net sessions as well, that he did not look as good as you would want him to. And today as well, if you go back to the first 2 3 overs that he played, he was being beaten right and left. And it's not the kind of batting want to see from the captain.
Shomik, lot of questions. Upendra Singh, Rohit Sharma, lots of questions. I'll just name. Uh, let's go. Amarto Chakraborty, uh, Prakrit, Upendra Singh, etc., etc. A lot of people, Arvind Krishnamurthy, lot of people asking about Rohit Sharma or commenting about Rohit Sharma, Shomik. So clearly, the pressure has started to mount. And once again, when you saw him practice, the visuals that Devashish had sent us, he was practicing against that incoming ball, and he got out to that incoming ball. Once again, Scott Boland pitching it there, ball coming in, slight drift. Rohit Sharma once, yet again missing the line, getting trapped right in front. So it's that same problem. He knows the problem. He was trying it out in the nets. Akashdeep and quite a few other bowlers getting the ball to angle into him. But unfortunately, he got trapped with the same problem. So the Australians know it. Rohit knows it. Is there a way out for the Indian captain from here on, Shomik?
I mean, even more concerning is the fact that the margin by which he missed that nip back. I mean, he was bitten on the inside edge. The ball nipped back, but the margin by which he missed the nip back, it was. I mean, he is giving me a feeling, and I think you can also recollect that 2011-12 series. You were there also in Australia. VVS Lakshman, the way he has been struggling in that series, and Lakshman was so very successful on Australian soil, and that series was nothing was coming up, and it felt like he was the end was nigh. You were there, you watched it firsthand, as I also watched it firsthand. And Rohit's batting currently is giving me that feeling. I am getting that cue, that sort of VVS Lakshman thing in 2011-12 series. The margin by which he missed, I didn't expect him. He would miss that nip backer by that margin.
You know, while we are talking about Rohit Sharma at length and justifiably, Devashish, the question that one needs to ask is he also is the captain. What role does the captain play tomorrow morning? Because if you have to look ahead, India has to make a comeback. You are missing a Mohammad Shami who has experience with the ping ball. You could have played Akashdeep, you've not. Now you've got to come back, less than 100 runs to play with. What does India do? Is there a way back from here on for India? Tomorrow morning, first session, massively important. The ball will still do much. There is bounce, there is slight movement as well. Even towards the end, you saw one Bumrah ball kicked up, Harshit Rana ball kicked up. So there is enough on that wicket still, Devashish.
Yes, Buryada, and obviously, what I'm looking forward to is that yes, the match is not yet over. Means there's still a lot to play in this test match. It's just that the first day did not go according to India's plan. They won a very important toss, batted fast, but once again the batting failure. And they have to be content with under 200, which is not a big match winning score on any account, because every time Australia is going by the history of ping ball test, every time Australia batted first, they have posted more than 300 runs. So ideally, India should have scored at least 300 runs having won the toss. But now that Australia have switched on a partners, especially with the likes of Labuschagne and Maxwell, all they need to do is to strike early. And if they can strike early, the key for India will be to give the support to Jasprit Bumrah, especially the likes of Mohammad Siraj and Harshit Rana. They need to give the support needed for Jasprit Bumrah to keep that pressure going, which was the case in Perth. Remember, Perth, Bumrah not only gave those early breakthroughs, but it was Harshit Rana who got rid of Travis Head, and then that slide. So obviously, for India to bounce back, they need to take the wickets, and that pressure needs to be from the other end as well. They cannot let go the pressure from one end, because we can always rely on a Jasprit Bumrah to give you those breakthroughs. But the key for India will be to get that support from Harshit Rana and Mohammad Siraj.
Having talked about Rohit Sharma at length about his captaincy and his batting, of course, there is enough and more room to be critical like we have been. Let's talk about some of the other batters, Shomik. Take Virat. Second time in the series that forward press cost him the wicket. Once again, Aussie supporters enjoying. Yes, boss, well done. Uh, Shomik, that ball again, he was not able to keep it down. Josh Hazelwood in the first test, today Mitchell Stark, not able to keep it down. Yes, the 100 in Perth, but is that a problem? Is that a problem because of the forward press from Virat Kohli standing slightly outside the crease? He's not able to keep the bounce down. Shomik Chakraborty.
Yes, that forward press, and also he looks a little uncertain about his off stump. It happened in part. The second innings, he scored 100, and I no disrespect to that. And a test 100 is a test 100. But by then, KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal had owned the Australian bowling down. Um, but still, it was 100, and we have to acknowledge that. But the fact of the matter is that as we see, Virat looks a little uncertain around the off stump area, and maybe it is that forward press, as you mentioned, absolutely right. That is give putting him a little bit of trouble as far as handling the extra bounce. Whenever a bowler is making a ball rear from good length area, from short of a length, you can shoulder arm, you can avoid it. When a bowler is making the ball rear from a good lengthish area, then he gets into trouble. That's a problem. Yes, of course, it's a problem.
Gargi, the question I needed to ask you is just like Rohit hasn't scored under pressure, Virat yes got that 100, but except that 100, not many scores. Is this inconsistency now something that Indian fans need to come to terms with? That we will not see the same Virat Kohli in Test match cricket? Or do you reckon no, he can come back and again be the consistent self that he was? Because this forward press today, yes, he got one boundary and one three, but soon after, and at no point in time does he look in. Even in the second innings at Perth, like Shomik said, it was Jaswal and Rahul who did the job. That 100 came, but that was because of the openers. They had completely killed the Australian bowling attack. So, first innings and now, are you also concerned with Virat?
I'd like to answer this very short. I'd like to keep my answer very short to this. One is, of course, we all know, and I think have come to terms with the fact that Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli are not the magnanimous players that they used to be once, and do not bat with the same consistency that we once loved to watch. But does not make them bad players. But at the same time, are they the best players for the Indian team right now? I think those are the questions that need to be asked. Of course, the experience that they bring, the leadership abilities that they bring, they are irreplaceable. But at the same time, when we talk about consistency, we've seen this for far too long now. The top order collapse, not seeing consistent runs from a lot of people, actually, not just Virat and Rohit. But you know, uh, now it's on to the management. But right now, I don't think one bad day changes anything, because we saw very good performance from all the batters and the bowlers in Perth. But right now, I think from tomorrow, it's all about recalibration.
Last few minutes on this particular subject before we move to the Champions Trophy, because we have a decision. Champions Trophy decision has been taken, and the decision will be announced in the next 24 to 48 hours. Next 24 to 48 hours will be announced. So, Shomik, let's go the other batters also. Shubman Gill looked good to me. Shubman Gill looked good. So did KL Rahul, despite that no ball wicket. But that was a gritty partnership. So clearly, with Rohit and Virat in inconsistent form, Gill, Pant, who has to do more, looked in from the time that he was there. Maybe that throw that came and hit him could have just taken his confidence a little bit, and then that bouncer came, or that short ball came rather from Pat Cummins, and Rishabh was out. But these three batters, Shubman Gill, KL Rahul, Jaiswal, and Pant, you need more from them as well. 180 is never going to be enough, Shumik, before I go to Devashish.
Absolutely. And see, when you are batting
Your
well,
volume is
you
about
got
the
to
low.
make
Is
that
there any way
count.
you can bump your volume up? Your volume is very low.
Now am I
Yeah,
audible?
much better.
Now am I audible? Okay. So the thing is that the when you are batting well, you got to make it count. There is no point scoring an eye-catching 30 or 40. That serves no purpose, right? I mean, when you are batting well, you got to grind them down. That's what the big players used to do. Shubman Gill will have to learn that. Shubman Gill will have to learn that. He is a very, very good batsman, very talented batsman, and he is very easy on the eye. All said and done, he has a tendency to lose his concentration, and he, after getting his eye in, he has a tendency to get out. We didn't see that from the good players, from the great players from the previous generation, be it Rahul Dravid, Sachin Tendulkar, whoever else. When they got themselves in, they played long. Shubman Gill's Shubman Gill has every shot in the book. He has a very good technique. I think he has a tendency to lose his concentration after getting his eye in. He has to work on that. He has age on his side. I hope he will work on that. And as far as Rishabh Pant is concerned, he got a reprieve on 5 when Max Sweeney dropped his catch. Yes, that bounced everything. And see what happens. We got to cut the players some slack also, given that in pink ball cricket, anytime a ball can come with your name on it. So anytime you can get a delivery, you struggle to handle. The ball that Rishabh Pant got from Pat Cummins, I think that would have gotten any left-hander out. It's very difficult to adjust at the last moment. I think that would have gotten any left-hander out.
I've got no debate doubt on that, Shomik. That ball was unplayable. As far as the Rishabh ball is concerned, that was an unplayable delivery from Pat Cummins. I've got no problems in accepting that. But on Shubman Gill, Devashish, if he is the next Virat Kohli, if he is the next Tendulkar replacement, I mean that league for Indian cricket, the 30 was excellent, but that full ball from Scott Boland, there was nothing really in that ball. When you got an in, that 30 has to become 130. The moment a Shubman Gill stitches together that partnership, does a Jaiswal like he did Perth, this match is different. If there is 100, the other batters can rally around you. That's what I don't get from Shubman Gill, especially in the first innings. Very good. Yes, 30, but as Shumik said, 30 not enough. Get that 30 into 130. And the moment your number three plays, you will see other batters revolving around him. And that score from 180 would become 280 or even 320. And the moment it's 300, it's a different ball game. Devashish then?
Yes, Pramita rightly pointed out, means he needs to work on his concentration. Means obviously when you get a start, you need to encash that start. Means that it was a perfect day because he was in, he got his eyes in. All he had to do is to transfer that innings into a big score, and that then things would have been different for India. But having said that, Boriada, it's only one innings. Let's not be critical about Shubman Gill because he can easily bounce back. But the problem here is that if Australia goes to a very big lead, then it might be a tad difficult for Indian batters because, as Shomika said, in a pink ball test match, anytime any ball like the ball that Rishabh got out, it can happen to any batters in this Indian team. So. Ideally for India, if they had they scored a big first innings runs, then they would have been placed in a comfortable position. But now they have to look forward, and obviously the key for them will be to restrict in the Australia let them not post a big total or will take a considerable lead, because that will put enormous pressure on the Indian batters to come back into this match.
Gaurav 02 is Ash fully fit? Yes, he is. Unless he's fully fit, he doesn't play. Shubham Sharma, when will you question Shubman Gill? We just did that. For the last 10 minutes, we've been talking about Shubman Gill and his temperament and his ability to score big. Exactly what we are doing. Precisely what we are doing. Don't comment for the sake of commenting. Hear the discussion, because we are taking questions, we are commenting. And as I said, this is a platform where we will question if we need to question. Each time we will question if we need to question. We question Rohit's captaincy, we question Rohit's batting, we question Virat, we question Shubman Gill, because it was one of those days. But at the same time, we are not going to go overboard. We are not going to go and start abusing cricketers and doing nonsense, because it's one day and the series is still 1-0 India. Even if Australia goes on to win this test match, it is still 1-1. It's an away series in Australia. In pink ball, Australia is way better. They play way more. So, in realistic terms, Australia was the favorite. So, if it's 1-1 going into Brisbane, we cannot lose perspective. There can be many other platforms where people will start to shout, howl, cry, jump, scream, abuse, body shame. All that rubbish can happen. We will not. So, it's simple as that. We will ask all the right questions that we need to do. Gargi, closing comments on the day's game before we move to Champions Trophy, because Champions Trophy, we now know that a solution has happened. Shomik will give that update, and then we can discuss that. But Gargi, summing up, do you see an Indian fight back?
Do I see an Indian fight back? Yeah, tomorrow, India has the opportunity. I think Bumrah will be key here. Bumrah will be key here, and Harshit Rana Siraj have to make sure that they are backing up Bumrah from the other end, because in order for Bumrah to take wickets, or for anyone to take wickets for that matter, there needs to be a drying up of runs. They need to get their line and length right. They need to stop leaking runs at this point. And I think the first few hours will be very, very important for the Indian bounce back. I hope they can do it. Of course, you always believe that India have the ability to do that, but will they be able to capitalize on it? Let's see what happens.
Someone saying Crickbuzz reported Ashwin got injured, folks. He bowled. He bowled the second last over of the day. So relax. I mean, Ashwin bowled the second last over of the day. So absolutely don't worry about that. The comeback has to happen tomorrow morning. So hopefully it was an Australia day. From winning the toss from ball one, Mitchell Stark on the money. Even when there was a partnership, the Australians did not give up. That McSweeney catch of KL Rahul was excellent. That worked out for the Australians. And that's what it is. One inspired moment of brilliance on the field got them back into the match. That's what India needs to learn from. India needs to take a lesson from that. And then Rahul, then Kohli, then Rohit, and all of a sudden, India was under the pump. And unfortunately, India could not come out of it. And the bowling effort was not as good as Perth, which is why India, at this point in time, is staring down the barrel. Can they come back? We will ask these questions tomorrow morning again at 8:30. And we all hope that they will regroup. Morning Mokal, Gautam Gambhir, the rest of the think tank, along with Rohit Sharma, and of course Jasprit Bumrah, they will regroup and they will come back strong, because this is a 5-day test match. That's why it's called a test. You don't lose one session or two sessions and lose a game, because if it continues, then you lose a game. There is enough and more opportunity for a comeback always. One inspired spell of 3 wickets and everything can change, especially with the pink ball, because there is still something on that wicket. Moving on, Champions Trophy. Show me, there is a decision. Pakistan gets its space saver and they get nothing else. So a complete climb down for the PCB. No hybrid, no hybrid, no hybrid, no hybrid. Yes, hybrid. Take that or get lost. That was the message that was given. No extra money, no tri series, no telling the BCCI or India to go and play in Dubai. Nothing like that was given. So what is the final outcome? If I know 3 years of hybrid chapter over, that to India versus Sri Lanka, India and Sri Lanka 25-26 was a given. So what is happening with the Champions Trophy? When is the announcement?
Huge credit to Jaisha to start with. I mean, he acted like a statesman in the sense the head of the game. I mean, head of the ICC. He was accommodated. He could have. I mean, he knew BCCI had the numbers, and he could have completely shut out PCB. But I mean, he cut them some slack. Pakistan PCB went with 5 demands. 4 of those were struck down. Only the thing is that reciprocation, and they are going gaga over that tit for tat. Nothing tit for tat. Until 2027, there are two events in India, two global events in India. One is 2025 Women's World Cup and the 2026 T20 World Cup, co-hosted by India and Sri Lanka. Now, as far as the Women's World Cup is concerned, Pakistan haven't qualified yet, and that has been kept out of the ambit. As for the 26 event, it would follow the 2011 World Cup model when Pakistan played all their matches in Sri Lanka and came to Mohali for the semi-final only. This time they want if there is an India Pakistan match, they want that to be played in Sri Lanka. So in any case, that was a hybrid model. There is no tit for tat, nothing. They wanted to extend this hybrid model until 2031. That has been struck down. They wanted a tri series. That has been struck down. They wanted added incentive. That has been struck down. So the PCB, there was a one-on-one meeting between Mohsin Naqvi and Jaisha on the sidelines of yesterday's meeting. And Pakistan asked for a face saving formula. And it was, Jaisha, like as I said, he acted like a statesman. And Pakistan, and then Mohsin Naqvi told the reporters in his country that I have some good news for you. And this good news is that the 2026 T20 World Cup, they will play in Sri Lanka. And the
Gargi, your
expected
thoughts on that?
announcement is
I will come in
tomorrow
a minute.
likely.
Yeah. Gargi, your thoughts on what is happening with the Champions Trophy, because there are plenty more updates. I'll come with it before I go to Devashish. But your thoughts?
I mean, you don't see any other option for PCB at this point. Hybrid model was the best thing that could have happened for the sport and for the tournament to go on without any hiccups. So, PCB, accepting that model, great that has happened, and there were other demands as well. Of course, more money for PCB. So that's all fair and square. Whatever has happened, I think it shouldn't have taken this long, considering we went circled around to the same option that we were suggesting in the first place. So I think this has happened in the best possible way. I don't think anything more could have happened to this.
Gargi, can you check with Shubhai and Rohit what's happening with the press conference? What update are we getting? Okay, Devashish,
We have
before
the
I give
video.
you my, pardon me, what?
We have a video from the press conference.
No, so just tell me what the update is, because don't play the video. Is it the Australian one or the Indian one?
Australian.
Then play it. Play it before I go to Devashish.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. You can take Devashish's comment.
Samarth, Mohsin Naqvi as PCB chairman is strong compared to his predecessor. अगर कोई और रहता तो कब का हाइब्रिड हो जाता? भाई हाइब्रिड ही है भाई, हाइब्रिड ही होगा. मोहसिन नकवी को पहले दिन से हाइब्रिड मानना चाहिए था, उन्होंने नहीं माना. हाइब्रिड आखिर में उनको मानना पड़ा. हाइब्रिड ही है, कुछ दूसरा नहीं हुआ है, और मोहसिन नकवी को कुछ दूसरा मिलने वाला भी नहीं है. सो इट इज एज सिंपल एज दैट. पांच डिमांड लेकर गए थे, एक डिमांड दिया गया है, दैट टू बिकॉज उनको फेस सेवर चाहिए था. वर्ल्ड क्रिकेट मुझे चाहिए, पैसा ज्यादा चाहिए, नहीं मिलेगा. ट्राई सीरीज चाहिए, नहीं मिलेगा. दुबई में मैचेस चाहिए, नहीं मिलेगा. हाइब्रिड नहीं खेलेंगे, हाइब्रिड खेलना पड़ेगा. So what is this that we are talking about? The only thing that they have got is hybrid, that in 2026 India versus Pakistan will be in Colombo. That is the only thing that they have got, that in 26 that tournament will also be played on a hybrid model. If Pakistan does make the final there will be two venues. If Pakistan makes the final, it will be in Sri Lanka. If India makes and if Pakistan doesn't make the final, it will be on an Indian ground. That is the only hybrid thing. We have been reporting this from last night. This is the only concession that Mohsin Naqvi has been given. Devashish, same thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And talking about Mohsin Naqvi, he has lost enough face, and to make it worse for him, embarrassing for him rather. He has not been even chosen as the president of the Asian Cricket Council. Sammy Silva will be the president of the Asian Cricket Council. So Mohsin Naqvi has got literally nothing. So let him stop craving about hybrid model and whatnot. And but then he literally has got nothing in last few days.
Gandhi, continue with it. I'll just take this call. Continue with.
Yeah, so I think the press conference that has been sent was Indian press conference, so we won't be able to play that. But let's take some questions
Who
from the
did? Who did?
viewers.
Who came for the press conference?
Uh, let me check. I'll just take a question till then. Rahul Java. Never mind that. Let's take some more. T20. Amartya Chakravarti is asking, what if they qualify for final in 2026 T20 World Cup? Will they play in India or Sri Lanka? If they play in Sri Lanka, then it's a huge loss for us. Shomik, can you explain what Amartya is trying to ask?
No. Why it is a huge loss for us? I mean, it is an agreement that if Pakistan qualify the final and India also qualify for the final at the 2026 T20 World Cup, the final would be played in Colombo. Simple as that. But then that is something for the future. We don't know whether Pakistan would qualify. We don't know whether India would qualify. But there is nothing, there is no loss or win in this situation. BCCI's communique, BCCI's communique to the ICC was clear that we want a hybrid model. We are not sending the Indian team to Pakistan because we haven't given the approval by the Indian government, and we want to play our matches in a second country, likely in Dubai. And also, if we qualify for the semi-final and final, those matches in Dubai. That exactly what is happening. So BCCI's demand was that, and that was accepted. Pakistan, through tantrums, Pakistan tried to give it a very political angle and everything. They tried everything. Eventually, they had to accept that hybrid model. In return, what they got is a hybrid model for the 2026 World Cup, which is in any case co-hosted by India and Sri Lanka. And Pakistan, I would like to remind our viewers that 2011 World Cup, 50 over World Cup, that was co-hosted by India, Pakistan, and India, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. Pakistan played all their matches in for coming to Mohali to play the semi-final. This time, if they qualify for the knockouts and it is against India, they will play that in Colombo. Simple as that. Nothing much. And credit to Jaisha once again because he was accommodative. He could have given them a complete snub with all the numbers with India, but he didn't do that. Like the head of the global body, he chose to be a statesman.
I will put something on record today. Shoaib Akhtar called me around 12 o'clock. He said, yes, क्या सही सुन रहा हूँ? I said, हाँ सही सुन रहे हैं. He said, जय शाह ने ये पाकिस्तान को दिया and this is a solution. आप इंडिया ने ICC ने दे दिया. This is great. ये तो वर्ल्ड क्रिकेट बच गया. पाकिस्तान भी बच गया. This is a great solution. That is what it is. That is what Jay did. By giving in to this one thing, what Jay did was he saved PCB, he saved this whole crisis, and he's now, as ICC chairman, solved the entire problem. They asked for 5 things, they were rejected. 4: no money, no tri series, no Dubai, no other things. For the Women's World Cup, they are not even bothered. They don't pay their women cricketers, they don't respect their women cricketers. Go check Sana Mir. So the only tournament that was in question was 2026. That was always going to be the hybrid model because of India and Sri Lanka. Pakistan's matches will be in Sri Lanka, and the India-Pakistan game will be in Sri Lanka. And if they qualify for the semi-finals and finals, if there is an India-Pakistan, that will be in Sri Lanka. They will. That's the only. So the hybrid model is this for 2026. They wanted it for 2031 or till 2031. Many other tournaments in India, they haven't got that. So this is the solution. that has come out as far as the ICC meeting is concerned. There one suggestion from one website that unfortunately, the tournament could move, happen without India was complete nonsense. That can never happen. Jai Shah had all the numbers in the ICC. By the way, kindly go and check the photograph that came out of the ICC meeting. There was no Mohsin Naqvi. There was Debojit Saikia. There was all the other board members. There was no Mohsin Naqvi in that photograph, despite being in Dubai. Mohsin Naqvi was in Dubai. He could have easily been accommodated in that picture. Unfortunately, he wasn't accommodated. So that can tell you. Also, the SEC chairman, if you ask people, Shomik, that was another thing. Devashish can also corroborate this. Mohsin Naqvi was telling his people in Pakistan that he will be the next ACC chairman. As far as I'm concerned, he is not the ACC chairman. Devashish, that is another snub that Mohsin Naqvi is not the ACC chairman. I think Sham Silva, right? Am I right,
Shami
Shomik?
Silva.
Shami
Yes,
Silva, sorry.
yes,
Shami Silva is
yes.
the next chairman of the ACC. So that's another thing that I don't think Pakistan is getting. Devashish said.
Yeah, I already discussed it here. So Mohsin Naqvi is in last few days he has literally he's already embarrassed. He has already lost his face, and no, not to be and he has been claiming back home that he will be the next SEC chairman, which is not the case. So that position is also not been given to him. So just imagine what is going with him. Not being clicked with the other members in their ICC board meeting, now not being the ICC chairman, so and not getting anything as far as the ICC board meeting with regard to the Champions Trophy. So nothing is going in favor of Mohsin Naqvi. Maybe time is right to get someone else as the PCB next PCB chairman. Get rid of Mohsin Naqvi.
Bharat Ramraj also
I'm a
joins us.
little.
Bharat, your assessment of the. Yeah, Shomik, before I go to Bharat.
Yeah, I am in a sense. I am happy in the sense for the fact that we cannot stoop to the level troll army. They are moronic. But for the general cricket loving people in Pakistan, and they love their cricket, I am happy that they will get to see an event at the world level after such a long time, after 1996. Because of Mohsin Naqvi's stubbornness, the tournament was on the verge of going out of Pakistan. And the common people are not, they are not bothered about politics. They love their cricket. So, in a way, for general cricket loving Pakistani fans, I am happy that Pakistan is getting some of their matches. They're renovating their stadium, everything. So, they will get to see quality action in the Champions Trophy. I'm happy for them.
Bharat Ramraj, quick comment from you on the day in Adelaide, because we missed you on the show earlier. Your thoughts on what transpired in Adelaide? Another batting collapse from India, and do you expect India to come back better with the ball? Because clearly, with the pink ball, our lines weren't enough. The Australians came back lovely after that partnership. India, unfortunately, Bumrah, Siraj, Harshit Rana, all our three pacemen, unfortunately, weren't on the money. Even Nitish Reddy conceding runs, allowed loose runs to go. Bharat Ramraj, your thoughts?
Yeah, based on whatever I saw in between while covering in the tournament, whatever I saw, it looked like Indian bowlers didn't get their lines right. Yeah, Australian bowlers also didn't get their lines right for the first 10 overs. There was a stat that said that they made the Indian batters play only 4.33% of the times. But after that, they improved. Mitchell Stark bowled better. Pat Cummins seem to
I
have
have
bowled better.
to
Scott
I
Boland.
have to leave. The press box is closing down. I have my bags inside. I have to leave.
Please go.
Yeah, Scott Boland also seemed to have got it right. So they got their lines right, but the Indian bowlers just couldn't get it right. I again saw a stat that said Indian batters attacked the stumps only 3.3% of the times. I guess for the first 10 overs. That tells the story. If you want to read anything into it, because with a Kookaburra ball, first 20-25 overs, it will do something. After that, it won't do much. So for the first 25 overs, it's very much key point that you make the batters play. You get the lens right, go a little bit fuller, go for the dangled carrot. get your lines right. Then after that, yeah, you can switch your line and bowl in the channel. But Indian started bowling in the channel itself, so that didn't go well either, and neither did Indian batters get it right. So yeah, India have enough issues. Nitesh Reddy again, they had to depend on someone like Nitesh Reddy to come out and score, get that 40-40 odd.
Last few minutes on the show. So, bad day in Adelaide, bad day in office, as all of us are saying, but it's just one day. Hopefully, India will come back better. Hopefully, India will get their lines right. The bowlers will get their lines right. Yes, the ball is 30 overs old. Keep that in mind. But there's still something on that wicket. There's still something in that pink ball. There will have to be an inspired spell either from Bumrah or from any of the other bowlers. Will Ravichandran Ashwin have a role to play tomorrow? Could well be that Ravichandran Ashwin has a role to play. Under lights, India got a good bowling opportunity. Twilight, they weren't able to penetrate today. Can they do it tomorrow? If they don't, this is Australia's test match. If Australia controls the day tomorrow and gets about a 250-run lead or 200-run lead and gets to 400 in the first innings, it is Australia's test match. Then India will have to chase leather and it will become 1-1. So massive 2 hours tomorrow morning for the Indian team. We will be back at 8:30. Look at the press conferences on our platforms. Gargi will publish them straight on. I think Ryan Tenduscarter came from the Indian side. Who came from the Australian side, Gargi? Okay, we'll check.
No
Possibly
updates
Mitchell
yet.
Stark. Must be, because 6 wickets for 38 should be Mitchell Stark because of that fifer, his best bowling in Test match cricket. You will have those press conferences on the site straight up. Tomorrow morning, join us. And as we said, the Champions Trophy announcement expected over the weekend. As far as the Champions Trophy is concerned, now people can say that the tournament is happening. It is not being taken away from Pakistan because of their obstinacy and Mohsin Naqvi's obstinacy. Finally, he had to agree to the hybrid, and now the tournament is on the hybrid model that India had proposed from day one. This was India's model from day one. Pakistan matches in Pakistan, rest of the matches in Dubai. Take it or leave it. That is the model that has finally been accepted. So there is nothing, as far as Pakistan is concerned, which Pakistan can say that they've been able to push the BCCI. Nothing whatsoever. We've reported on every detail. Watch out for our chess coverage also. Bharat covered the wrestling. Trisha and Rohan covered the women's domestic. That is what we are all about. So senior wrestling in Bangalore, women's domestic cricket, Champions Trophy, chess in Singapore, Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia, all of it on one platform. Shomik, Gargi, Bharat, the rest of you, whoever watched, absolutely, thank you very much for watching. And parting comment, I don't think Rahul Jawa has any concern for money. He must be really rich that he comes to our platform and wastes his money, because we don't want idiots on our platform. So there is no need for him to come and tell us that, we need to take his questions and waste his money. We don't want your money. You are not welcome. You are not welcome on our platform in any way, because we don't want jerks. I hope the point is made loud and clear. Thank you very much for watching.